Hello students, after so many days we are meeting once again. So I have ended the botany topic, that is plant kingdom. I started the plant kingdom and I have ended up to the algae and its characteristic features. If you remember, long days back, before the zoology concept, that is animal kingdom concept, I have ended only till the algae. Okay, and for a few of the students I have started bryophytes, for few I have not started bryophytes. So now today's class will start from the bryophytes. Okay, so here after so many days we are going to see the class of the plant kingdom, and then we are going to see the characteristic features of the bryophytes. Okay, what are the characteristic features of the bryophytes, where they are there, okay, and what they will do and what is their lifestyle. Even for the Kannada medium students also, just to, in between one word I will use in Kannada, but I am requesting here and just you have to write the exam in English, so you have to cope up with the English language, and also you have to write the English. Most of the your assignments I have seen, most of your assignments I have seen, it is very good. Kannada medium students are very good, very intelligent. But only the thing is you have to understand the concepts, okay, so that you will do and you have to do, okay. There is no other option is there. You have to learn English, you have to write in English, you have to understand the English, you have to talk in English, okay. English is must and should for the communication, for the survival. Otherwise our mother tongue is different, okay, mother tongue will be there, but apart from the mother tongue, okay, ನಮ್ದು ಭಾಷೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಭಾಷೆ ನೆಸರಿ ಏನಕ್ಕದ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್, ಮುಂದೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಬ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ very good proverb, I am going to start today's class, that is bryophytes and its characteristic features. Okay, write down today's date and write the heading as bryophytes and its characteristic features. Come on, start writing bryophytes and its characteristic features. Bryophytes and its characteristic features. Bryophytes and its characteristic features. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಯೋಫೈಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಉಭಯವಾಸಿಗಳಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇಫ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ವರ್ಡ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಇಫ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ, wherever necessary, otherwise I will tell in English. Got? Okay, so bryophytes, especially in Kannada, we will say it as a ಉಭಯವಾಸಿಗಳು. Okay, and ಉಭಯವಾಸಿಗಳು means what? Present on the land as well as in the water. ನೀರ್ನಾಗೂ ಇರೋವು, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನಾಗೂ ಇರೋವು. Okay, present as on the land as well as in the water. Okay, so first the very first basic character is these are the amphibians of the plant bodies. What? Bryophytes. Bryophytes are the amphibians of the plant kingdom, of the plant kingdom. What are these bryophytes, students? These are the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Now you have to understand what is the meaning of amphibian. Amphi. What is the meaning of amphi here? Both. Okay. Amphibian means what? Both places. Amphibians. It depends. Beings means organisms. It may be places. It may be where they live. Okay, place where they live. What do we say? Okay. So amphibians means they live inside the water. Second point. Consider that one as a second point. They live inside the water. They live inside the water. They live inside the water as well as on the land. As well as on the land. Okay. So they live inside the water. What is the second point here? They live inside the water as well as on the land. Okay. Now coming to the third point, how the plant body is, that we have to see. What is the structure of the plant body, that we have to see. Okay. The plant body is thalloid. The plant body is thalloid. Now what is the meaning of the thalloid? Write down. Plant body is a thalloid anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, Thallus meaning ಏನು that we have to understand. What is the meaning of the thallus that we have to understand. Thallus can be defined as thallus can be defined as the plant body where thallus can be defined as the plant body where there is no root, stem and leaf. Okay, but the plant body is attached to the substratum. Okay, but the plant body is attached to the substratum. Now, what is thallus? See here. If I show you the diagram, okay, see this textbook. If you have the NCERT textbook, it's very good here. If you see this diagram, okay, it is the thallus shaped structure where we are not going to see any root, stem and the leaf, but it is a plant body. Okay, we are not going to see any root, stem and leaf, but it is a plant body. So flattened shaped structure. Okay, so it is a plant body which is not having a root, stem and the leaf, and it is attached to the substratum. Now I will draw a diagram. See here, suppose it is the tree. Okay, it is the tree trunk. So tree is having a wet region. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಗಿಡಗಳೇನಾಗ್ತಾವ, ಹಸಿ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಹಸಿ ಗಿಡಗಳಿಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಪಾಚಿಗಳು ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾವ. ಪಾಚಿಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಿಡಗಳು, ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಗಿಡಗಳು ಈ ತರ ನೋಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಷ್ಟು. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ತರ ಗಿಡಗಳು ಬೆಳೆದಿರ್ತಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಥಾಲಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಡು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್? ಥಾಲಸ್. ಥಾಲಸ್ is nothing but it is not having any root, stem and the leaf. See here, it is not having any root, stem and the leaf, but the plant body is attached to the substratum. Okay, the plant body is attached to the substratum. Okay, and dorso-ventrally flattened. That means upper part as well as lower part is flattened. Okay, it is also, see, it is attached to the substratum. We have completed. Then plant body is dorso-ventrally flattened. Plant body is dorso-ventrally flattened. That means from the upper portion, from the lower portion, it is flat. Okay, ಚಪ್ಪಟೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೇಲ್ಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಕೆಳಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಚಪ್ಪಟೆ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ root, stem and leaf is absent over there. Are you getting my point? Root, stem and leaf is absent, but the plant is present attached to the substratum, and it is dorso-ventrally flattened. Okay, ventral surface also it is flat, dorsal surface also it is flat. Okay, dorso-ventrally flattened we will say. Okay, now in your mind the question may be arised that if the plant body is not having the root, stem and the leaf, then how these plant body are attached to the substratum? First of all, you have to know what is the meaning of substratum. What is the meaning of substratum? You have to understand. Substratum, okay, have you understood these points? 4 points you have understood. So what is the first point? These are the amphibians of the plant body. That means they are present in the water as well as on the land. That is the first point. Second point, they live inside the water as well as on the land. Third point, the body is thalloid. Okay. Fourth point, what you have written? Thallus is defined as the plant body where there is no root, stem and leaf. Okay, but the plant body is attached to the substratum. Now you have to understand the meaning of the substratum. But before going to understand the meaning of the substratum, you have to understand that how the plant body is present. It is present dorso-ventrally flattened. That is, from the upper surface as well as from the lower surface, it is flat. Okay, from the upper surface as well as from the lower surface, it is flat. You have to understand. Okay, now next is we will see what is the meaning of the substratum. See here, substratum definition you have to write. Consider this as the fifth character. Okay, substratum means the plant body, the place. I'm sorry, the place where the plant body is attached. The place where the plant body is attached. That is called as what? Substratum. Okay, the place where the plant body is attached is called as what? Substratum. Example, you can take soil rocks, ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಕಲ್ಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Soil rocks, okay, wet walls, ಹಸಿ ಗೋಡೆ, wet walls ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Tree trunks, okay. See, I'm using both the words, Kannada and the English. Okay, you have to understand. You have to understand and you will understand. I'm damn sure about that. Okay. So substratum means what? The place where the plant body is attached. We will say, for example, soil rocks, wet walls, tree trunks. Okay. This is about the meaning of the substratum. Okay. Now, next character. This plant body is this plant body is attached to the substratum with the small root hair like structures, called as rhizoids. RHIZOIDS. Now here students, once again I will draw the diagram. If you have your NCERT textbook along with you, please take the textbook with you people. Keep the textbook with you people. So this is the plant body. Okay. So suppose imagine that this is the surface of the wall, wet wall. So this wet wall, how the plant body is holding, that is with the help of the rhizoids. Small root hair like structures are present and these are called as what? Rhizoids. ಈ ತರ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಬೇರಿನ ತರ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ರೈಸೋಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕೂದಲೆಳೆ ಆಕಾರದ ಬೇರ್ಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, which is helping for the fixation of the plant body. Okay, which is helping for the fixation of the plant body. What they will do? These rhizoids. So what are rhizoids? One more question once again. What are rhizoids? These are the small hair-like structure present attached to the plant body. Okay, small hair-like structure present attached to the plant body, and this rhizoid is helping for fixation. Rhizoid is helping for fixation and also helps in absorption of mineral salts. Absorption of mineral salts from the substratum. Absorption of mineral salts from the substratum. Okay, absorption of mineral salts from the substratum. Okay, see here, the plant body is attached to the substratum. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತದ substratum ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು. The place where the plant body is attached, we have told. Okay, and this substratum, okay, this substratum is having, that is the plant body is attached to the substratum with the help of the rhizoids, we will say. Rhizoids means what? They are the small root hair like structures which are helping for the fixation of the plant body and also for the absorption of the mineral salts from the soil. Okay, whatever the mineral salt is required for the plant body, that is absorbed by the rhizoids. Understood? So this is the sixth character. Okay, this is what we will say. It is the sixth character. Okay. So now next coming to the seventh character. What seventh character says? That is about the reproductive structures. Okay. Gamete structure, what do we say? Seventh character is gamete structure. Okay, what is the seventh character? Gametes. So here the male gamete is called as, write down, next character, the male gamete or male gametophyte is called as antheridia. Male gametophyte is called as antheridia, and the female gametophyte is called as archegonia, and the female gametophyte is called as archegonia. Female gametophyte is called as archegonia. Students, Kannada medium students, please note this point. Male gametophyte is called as antheridia. Male gametophyte is called as antheridia. Female gametophyte is called as archegonia. Female gametophyte is called as archegonia. What is the meaning of gametophyte here? Gametophyte means plant which is consisting of gamete. Plant which is consisting of gamete. It is called as gametophyta. Gametophyta artha enu? Plants which is consisting of gamete is called as what? Gametophyta. So here male gametophyta is called as antheridia, whereas female gametophyta is called as archegonia. Andre ಅಂಡಾಂಶ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೀರ್ಯಾಣು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಂಥ್ರಿಡಿಯಾ ವೀರ್ಯಾಣುಗಳು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವ, ಆರ್ಕಿಗೋನಿಯಾ ಅಂಡಾಂಶಗಳು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಫೈಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಂಥ್ರಿಡಿಯಾ, female gametophyte is called as archegonia. This point you have to understand. Okay. Now, eighth character. Antheridia produces biflagellated sperm. Antheridia produces biflagellated sperm called as antherozoids. Biflagellated sperm called as antherozoids. What are antherozoids? One more question. Antheridia produces biflagellated sperm called as antherozoids. So this is the sperm structure. These are flagella. Okay. Biflagella means what? These small hair-like structures are called as what? Flagella, which is helping for the locomotion. Locomotion ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ locomotion ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay. So the movement of the organism from one place to another place is called as what? Locomotion. Okay. So Antheridia produces biflagellated sperm called as antherozoids. What are Antheridia? It is a male gametophyte. Understood? Next, ninth character, archegonia. Archegonia produces non-motile. Archegonia produces non-motile ova. Archegonia produces non-motile ova. Non-motile ova means what? Ova is a particular female gamete where it is not moving from its place. Okay, egg we will say. Ova, or also it is called as egg. Ova, or it is also called as egg, which is non-motile, which is not moving from one place to another place. Understood? So here Antheridia produces biflagellated sperm, Archegonia produces non-motile ova or the egg. Understood? So next is last character, that is the life cycle of bryophyte. The life cycle of bryophyte is having two stages. That is haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte. That is haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte. Haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte. Haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte. So this character we'll see in the next class. That is the haploid gametophyte, diploid sporophyte we'll see in the next class. So hope so till 9th character you have understood. Okay. So we'll see this in the next class. Well, here I have told that this character is see in the next class, but no next class. Here only will complete the character. That is, the life cycle is consisting of two stages, that is haploid gametophyte and the diploid sporophyte. So what is the meaning of the haploid gametophyte? You have to understand. First of all, haploid means the presence of single set of chromosome number. What is the meaning of the haploid here? Presence of single set of chromosome. Haploid means presence of single set of chromosome. Okay, single set of chromosome. That is called as haploid. Okay, and here gametophyta, I have told you, either there is a presence of antheridia, either there is a presence of antheridia or archegonia. Antheridia or archegonia. Antheridia or archegonia. Either there is a presence of antheridia or archegonia on the plant body. Okay. Now, you have understood this haploid gametophyte meaning. Okay, you have understood the haploid gametophyte meaning. Now, we will see the diploid sporophyte. Diploid means 2n number of chromosome. Sporophytes means the small spores are present. Small spores, okay, are present on the plant body. Small spores are present on the plant body. That is called as what? Diploid sporophyte. Okay, see here how this diploid sporophyte and haploid gametophyte works, how they are dependent on each other. Before fertilization, students, fertilization means what? It is the process where there is a fusion of haploid male gamete. What is fertilization? What is fertilization here? The process where there is a fusion of haploid male gamete and haploid female gamete fuses to form diploid zygote. Okay, see here. Haploid male gamete means N. Haploid female gametes means another N. Okay, N plus N is equal to 2N. So this 2N undergoes meiotic cell division. So meiotic cell division, once again you will ask the question is, what is this meiosis? Meiosis already you people have studied in the high school. If you have not studied, please refer the high school textbook if you have forgot. Okay, so meiosis is also called as reductional cell division. Meiosis is also called as reductional cell division, where the chromosomes are reduced to half. Okay, where chromosome number is reduced to half. Once again here there is a production of haploid gamete. Okay, once again there is a fusion, once again there is a production of diploid. Okay, see here, once again I will write the cycle. Haploid male gamete, haploid female gamete. Male gamete, female gamete fuses to form diploid zygote. Okay, then this zygote undergoes meiosis. Produces once again haploid male gamete, haploid female gamete. Okay, male gamete, female gamete. Once again they are fusing. Once again they are forming the diploid zygote. Once again they undergo meiosis. Okay, once again they are going to form haploid chromosome number, haploid male gamete, haploid female gamete. So this cycle will continue till the death of the plant body. So that is why, see here, once it is undergoing haploid gametophyta, once it is forming haploid gametophyta. Okay. Second time it is forming diploid sporophyta. Spores are produced. Okay, I'll show you the PPT. While telling the class, I'll show you the PPT. What is the spores? Okay. So diploid sporophyte. Then this diploid sporophyte undergoes meiosis, produces haploid gametophyte. Okay. Then once again fuses, produces diploid sporophyte. So like this it is continued. Is it not? Like this it is continued. That is why we will say that the life cycle of the bryophyte ಜೀವನ ಚಕ್ರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಉಭಯವಾಸಿಗಳ ಜೀವನ ಚಕ್ರದೊಳಗೆ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಫೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಫೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, so once if it is called as haploid gametophyte, other stage is called as diploid sporophyte. Okay, so these are alternate with each other. That is why we will say this process as alternation of generation. Okay, we will say this process of as alternation of generation. Why do we say this as alternation of generation? Because once it is forming haploid gametophyte, then it is forming diploid sporophyte. Haploid gametophyte, diploid sporophyte. Haploid gametophyte, diploid sporophyte. Continuously they are producing till the death of the plant body. So we will call this life cycle as the alternation of the generation. What do we call it? As the alternation of generation. Okay, have you noted it down? Well, so this completes your characteristic features of the bryophyte. Hope so you have written all the characteristic features. That is, bryophytes are the amphibian of the plant body. They live in water as well as on the land. The plant body is thalloid form. Thallus is the plant body where there is no difference between, where there is no absence of root, stem and leaf, and it is attached to the substratum. Substratum is the place where the plant body is attached. The rhizoids are the small root hair-like structures which is helping for the fixation of the plant body and the absorption of the water and mineral salts. Then the male gamete is called as antheridia, female gamete is called as archegonia. Then antheridia produces the biflagellated sperms called as antherozoids. Archegonia produces the egg or the ovum. Then we are going to see the two stages in the life cycle, that is haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte. So haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte alternatively they are dependent on each other. So that is called as what? Alternation of generation. So this completes your characteristic features of bryophytes. Hope so you have written all the characteristic features. Okay, students.